Hello, hello! Welcome back to my YouTube family. How is everybody doing today? I am freezing my ass off. But aside from that, we are going to do a good old-fashioned drugstore haul. So if you want to know what I used to get this look today, keep on watching. Welcome back. So here we are, zoomed in, ready to go. I am fresh-faced, just got my skincare on hours and hours ago. I'm probably going to do a little spritz to revive the situation before we get into it. So I did some shopping at my local Walmart, which seems to never have anything. Did some additional shopping on well.ca, which is an online drugstore situation here in Canada. And it is the only retailer in Canada now that carries Flower Beauty. I was looking at some new Flower Beauty stuff. One thing led to another. I picked up some additional items and we are going to give them a try. So first things first, because again, like I said, I did my skincare hours and hours ago and I'm feeling a little parched. I am going to use a little of my Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. This is not a new product, but I'm just going to use that to refresh. This product does have fragrance, so if you're fragrance averse or if you're fragrance sensitive, I would not recommend it. But it's nice to just sort of plump everything back up again. For eye primer today, because I didn't see a new eye primer that really was blowing my skirt up that I really wanted to try, I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer on my eyeballs. And this is the new concealer, so I'm not gonna show it to you yet. And as per usual, I'm just gonna blend that out with my sort of big fluffy brush guy here. I picked up one of the new eye quads. And this is in the shade Petal Play. I thought I picked up the Barrymore one, apparently not. So this is Petal Play, and it's got 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. The packaging is cute, but it feels very, very cheap. Like this thing is very light. I can feel like this would get broken quite easily. The little window, I could feel like that would pop out. Flower Beauty isn't the least expensive drugstore brand out there, so I'm a little surprised that the packaging is this questionable. Anywho, we'll give it a try. So I'm first going to go in with this shade right here with just a fluffy brush, and we will see how these perform. Just going to take that. Ooh, pigmented. Okay. Take that in the crease and above. That blended out in seconds. Wow, I have actually never tried Flower Beauty's eyeshadow before, so let me get my old lady mirror. I'm speechless. That blended out so well, so fast. Holy shit. All right, well, let's do that on the other eye. It's not catching on this concealer at all, and it is still a touch tacky. Hasn't dried down completely. Wow, I'm not often speechless. God damn. All right, Flower, you coming for it. Moving on, we are going to move into this darker pink shade here to darken up the crease and the outer corner. Okay, that one's like so much product on the brush. Wow, okay, careful. Jesus. And we'll just take that. Oh, that's not as matte as I thought it was. That's like a satin. That has some sheen to it. Interesting. Okay, blending out like a dream. That one blended out beautifully as well. I'm gonna darken it up a little more. But yeah, with how these shadows are performing, we need Pat McGrath. I need Pat McGrath. Pat, you can send stuff to me anytime. I don't love the sheen, but I do love the color. The one thing this palette is definitely missing, if you can see, is that I've darkened that up, but you're not going to get a real smoky look with this. There's going to be a limit to how dark you can go, because I think I've built that up to about as far as it's going to get. It is blending away a little more than I want it to though, which is probably more indicative of the shade, because I'm wanting sort of that deep brown or a deep maroon or a deep wine to sort of get up in there and darken it up, and this just isn't that girl. I'm gonna say right now, even before we're done with the eye look, that these are incredibly beginner friendly shadows. Like incredibly beginner friendly. So if you are new to eyeshadow, or if you've struggled with making your eyeshadow look like you're not doing it with your eyes closed, I would recommend these. All right, we're gonna go in with the shimmer. We're gonna go in with this shimmer right here on the outer half and out. Or maybe I have to wet it. Got some fallout with that one though, for sure, and it's just blending away. Okay, may have found a dud in this one. Let's try a finger. Ooh, it's very creamy on the finger. Okay, that's better. Okay, no go with the dry brush situation. Definitely better with the finger. I keep thinking that this is a mirror. It's not, clearly. Oh, I need more coffee. Might want to try, I'm going to try that inner shimmery shade with a wet brush and see if that makes a difference, but definitely applies okay with the finger. They aren't as foiled as my preference. I like a really foiled eyeshadow, but if you like sort of an everyday type of shimmer situation that's not like you can see me from space, then you might really like these. So now we're going to go in with that last sort of pinky, peachy champagne color here, and we're going to put that on the inner half of the lid, and I'm going to spray it, little setting spray, and we'll see how this works on a wet brush. Okay. Definitely peachier on the lid than it is in the pan, which I'm not hating on, but it's not as bright as I thought it would be. I don't hate it. I'm not mad at it. The mattes were definitely better than the shimmers, by far. And we are going to move on to liner. Now I got a liner that I think was a recommendation from Jessica Braun. I think this is the liner she's always talking about, that in her inner waterline, when she tightlines with it, that it just doesn't move. So this is the L'Oreal Liner. She talked about sort of the pretty gold packaging and the pretty gold top. Then give it a try. This one is in the shade Brown Denim. I'm going to tightline. If you don't like this part, look away. Alright, so I've tightlined the other eye, and I am going to dark, because the palette doesn't actually have sort of the depth that I'm looking for. I am going to use this liner and put some in the outer sort of third of my eye and then smudge it out a little bit. Get my smudgy brush here. So we'll see if this liner is very creamy. I like that I don't have to like rub the shit out of it on my eyeball get it to show up. Now I'm just taking my angled smudgy brush thing, my liner brush, and sweeping that out, and that just gives me a little bit more depth but leaves sort of the inner part open. Okay, that's better. I picked up a Milani Easy Brow. So I had never seen this product before. It just, again, it's a retractable pencil and it's got a spoolie on the other end, and I chose the shade Taupe, or Natural Taupe. It looked a lot darker online. So if you look at my hair color and my eyebrow color, I think this is going to be too light. It's neutral, but I think it's going to be too light, and that swatch felt very creamy, so we will see. Oh, god damn. Beware of this spoolie. Shit just scratched me. Ouch. This is a Take No Prisoners spoolie. This is the kind of spoolie you want to use when you're doing soap brows, because wow, It's like a wire brush. My brain immediately went to toilet brush, but that's not what I'm thinking of, like a wire cleaning brush. Yeah, not the right color. However, so at first, and this is what I meant, but I wasn't going to judge it too quick. Maybe that's why this incredibly harsh brush is on here. This is very creamy. It puts down a fair amount of product like right off the damn bat. So be very careful. If you're going to use it, or if you have it and you're like, what the hell? Start from sort of your mid-brow area until you sort your hand sort of like, when you first go in there, you sometimes use more pressure. So once you've got your pressure adjusted, and then you can kind of come into the front of the brow. But on camera, this is showing up red. At least it is in my monitor. It doesn't look red in real life though. The color's not terrible, actually. Again, like I said, so this puts down a lot of product right at first. It's very, very creamy, which is what I saw in the swatch in my hand. I was like, oh damn, this is not usually what I prefer. However, this thing, this wire brush thing, that'll clear it right up for you. If you're looking for precise hair-like brow strokes, this is not your girl. I mean, it's exfoliating your brow skin too, so I guess that's a bonus. One thing to note, so I don't know if it's just mine, but I can't get it to retract. It won't go down. So be wary when you're scrolling up to only scroll up as much as you need, because I can't get the damn thing to go back down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Jessica, did you lie to me? I've been lied to, and this liner has absolutely transferred down to my lower waterline, which is what I don't want. So we'll see if it was just sort of a one-time transfer thing or if it does it again. We are going to move on to prepping the skin. I picked up the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer 12-Hour Makeup Grip. Plumps, moisturizes, and perfects. Now, I have heard this equated to a dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, which I haven't actually tried, and mainly because everyone who says this is a dupe is say that this is better, that this is more hydrating. And right now in the middle of winter, I could use some hydration. I have normal skin, but it is a little parched at the moment. So it looks like, you know, something Slimer left behind in the hotel hallway. Ooh, she cooling. It smells weird. Yeah, I don't like the smell. It dissipates, but I absolutely use too much. So note to self, don't use that much. Feels very hydrating though. It feels like aloe vera. I mean, I don't know if it's because it's green that it feels like aloe vera, but psychology. It's definitely sticky. Okay, so I use a different gripping primer. That's not this gripping, so this will be interesting. We'll see if it stays that sticky or not. For foundation, I picked up the L'Oreal Paris Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation with concentrated serum and antioxidants. That's this guy right here. I got the wrong shade, but I'll tell you a little story. I used all my own tricks and I went on foundation and I found what would be my closest match and everything, and I went to the display and grabbed that and went out to the checkout and off I went my merry way. Got home and realized that it was in the wrong home, so I grabbed Rose Ivory and came home with Ivory. So this is, I think, the lightest shade. Definitely too light for me, so I am going to have to add a drop of my Cover FX Shade Adjuster drops. So I'm just adding one drop. I might have made it a touch dark. That might just be my inner beach girl wishing I still had a tan. Actually, not too bad. It's not bad. Now I'm assuming because this is a serum foundation that it's not going to dry down super quick, so I'm not going to worry about going back with my sponge at the moment, and I'll do it all at the end. But if you can see the difference, it's giving decent coverage. The radiance of it is absolutely highlighting, not just accentuating or emphasizing, like highlighting all of my texture, which I'm not loving at the moment. However, I can't name a foundation off the top of my head that I don't powder down that is listed as radiant or dewy or whatnot. I powder them all. I will do a bit of a wear test today because I've got the time. However, it is already 1 o'clock. This is looking nice, actually. I'm actually really liking this. It looks a little funky around my mouth. It looks a little textury around my mouth. Like it just still looks like my skin, but it looks like my pores are a bit bigger or deeper. We'll see how this sets down on its own before I powder, and we will move on to concealer. So the concealer that I picked up has been raved about over and over and over again, and I have the foundation version of this and I do like it, but I've never ever tried the concealer. Is the Revlon Candid Concealer. Again, antioxidant. That's the new buzzword, is having antioxidants in our makeup. I'm not complaining, you know, anything that can help our skin. This is the Antioxidant Candid Photo Ready Concealer in the shade 015. So we will see. It's got kind of a cool looking doe foot on it. If you look at that, it's got a bit of a teardrop shaped and it has a bit of a curve. It's interesting. We shall see how she applies. Oh, it's very flexible too. It's like bendy. And I'm assuming it dries down quickly because just the time that I've had that out of the tube, it is already dried and not spreading very well on my face. I'm getting very, very light coverage. Light to medium. I think I've built it up to about medium here. You can definitely tell a difference, but I can still see in my little mirror here my dark circle. And it is a significantly drier formula than the foundation, so it'll be interesting to see how these two play together. Yeah, this concealer's actually kind of thin once you get it on your face. Like it thins out weirdly, and the brush moves around too much. This is definitely a sponge or possibly a finger concealer. The brush is not doing it any justice. Or maybe a fluffier brush. The brush I'm using is rather dense and it's leaving lines for sure. That's better. Well, look at the difference. Can you see that? This one has set down already, and look at, like, you can't see my divot. I think, is this self-setting with caffeine? Oh, I didn't know that. Let's get my old lady glasses on so I can read the rest of it here. Concealer with caffeine, antioxidants, anti-pollution, anti-blue light, without sulfates, phthalates, no harsh fragrances, oil-free, and medium coverage. Medium coverage. Okay, so it wasn't claiming to be full coverage, so it didn't lie. And it just smells like makeup. We like that. It's a good color. I think it's self-setting itself because this is looking real good. I'm a little shook. For powder, I don't have a new powder. We are just going to go in with my E.L.F. Halo Glow powder under the eyes. Just a little in my cap here. We will do a little setty here. And see how it sets down. I'm not sure this color is actually bright enough to do brightening. It looks better unset. So I'm only going to set one eye because I'm not going anywhere. And I will report back tonight in our wear test how the unset side does versus the set side. I am going to set the rest of my face though with my floofy brush. And this is cheap Amazon garbage brush, but it's big and floofy and not $100 like the rougher brush I want so bad. So I kept that powder away from this other eye because I actually think the unset eye looks better. I don't know if you can tell. I'll try and zoom you in. So I don't know if you can tell. This is the set eye and this is the unset eye. And the set eye right under here just looks a little drier, which is what powder does, but like not in a good way. Like my little lines right here look more accentuated, where on this side you can see the lines, but they kind of end. You can't actually see the rest of them. And it looks pretty good. I like it. I am very, very, very freaking nervous. So I love the Milani baked formula. I liked their baked highlighters. I love their baked blush, and kind of like give you like sort of a youthful glowy moment. So I thought, let's try the baked bronzer. So I purchased the Milani baked bronzer in the shade Glow Luminescence. I think that's just the French. I don't think it's Glow Luminescence. I think it's just Glow. And this is it. And I will try and swatch it for you because I don't know if this is an overspray. I haven't actually touched it yet, but just looking at it in the pan, I freaked out because there's glitter on the top of it. Here is our fresh off the top swatch. I don't know if you can see, but there is actual glitter particles. And I don't mind a glowy bronzer, but I don't want a, you can see even on my finger, like that's the bronzer. It's got actual glitter in it. Who wants glitter in their flippin' bronzers? So I'm gonna rub a little off here and see if we can't decide if this is an overspray or if this is a glittery bronzer. Be right back. Kind of rubbed off the top layer of this baked bronzer, and I gotta say, of all their baked formulas, this is sort of the least baked. I think they undercooked it, is what I'm saying. It's pretty powdery. I was so taken aback by the whole glitter situation when I first opened it that I also didn't notice how orange it is. So this might be a giant, let's give it a try. This might be an epic, epic fail. I want to tap off the brush because I'm scared. I'm scared. However, color-wise, it's actually not as bad as I thought. It doesn't come off as orange on the skin as I thought it was going to by looking in the pan. And in actual fact, it looks more red. I prefer a red undertone bronzer to a like an orange undertone bronzer if I'm going to go for a warm bronzer, because on my skin tone that looks more like what bronzer's intended for. Like I've been out in the sun, I do often get a touch of that red undertone. I don't hate it, and it's not coming off glittery on the skin that I can see. Let me get my close-up mirror here. It's definitely got a sheen. It is absolutely enhancing my pores right here. It's definitely emphasizing my texture here and here, like bad. I'm sure you can see that because it's like too glowy. However, color-wise, I don't mind it. And maybe after I've done like a good peel and that texture isn't as bad, it might not be as bad. I actually don't hate it as much as I thought it was going to when I first opened it. So I'm actually going to do highlighter next because I have a new highlighting palette that I saw from Hard Candy and it looked real cute, but because I don't know how intense these are, I'm gonna do my blush afterwards because I am using a matte blush and I might be able to take it down a little bit if it's too much. But I saw this and I thought it was adorable. See if I can't blind you with the front of it. It's got cute little packaging, and actually this packaging feels more substantial than that Flower Beauty packaging. And it comes with 3 highlighters with swirl patterns. They're also called baked highlighters. And it comes with a little brush that's stuck in here by one of those glue boogers. And the name of this is the Hard Candy Just Glow Baked Highlighting Trio. So this is Make the First Mauve. Oh, they're glowy-ish. They look a lot glowier on camera, but even my skin has, my plain skin. So this is sort of the dark, this is the darker one. I just did them in order. There's the sort of moderate pink swirl, and this is sort of the lighter pink swirl. So they actually look pretty good on camera. They feel dry and powdery as hell. And I'm going to show you my fingers because I feel like the powders have actually literally dried out my fingers. Like they were dry and scratchy powders. I'm a little nervous. So we will see how this goes. And we'll try the little brush too. The brush actually doesn't feel bad. So I'm going to go in with this sort of middle pink shade because we have sort of a pink moment going on here. And I was hoping to use that lighter one as an inner corner situation, but okay. Here I am just piling on more highlighter on an area that's already super accentuated, but our candy's here for business. Look at that. I am glowing. It doesn't look horrible. Let's see how this lightest one does in the inner corner. So I'm just going to take a pencil brush. I wonder if I spray it. Okay. That's better. I mean, it's not the shiniest inner corner highlight I've ever put on before, but... So for mascara, of course I had to try it. And this is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. And this is a little weird. Like, look how flexible this wand is. I'm not sure I've ever used a wand with that much flexibility. Okay, going in with coat number 1 of this viral Sky High mascara. Holy crap. I did my bad side first. These are my bad lashes. I have a gap here of lashes that are shorter than the rest. I have a few eyelashes on this side, like whole sections that are shorter than the adjacent lashes. So this eyeball always looks horrible. So they are, I don't know if you can see them, clumped together. But let's see how it does on the good eye. But these ones clumped together a little bit. It definitely gave me length. That is for damn sure. It doesn't feel like too wet of a formula. Like I'm not making a giant mess of my face, which is something I generally do. Oh, that's something to note. So this is sort of a rubber bristle wand, and generally I freaking hate those because as soon as they touch my waterline, it just hurts the crap out of my eye, and I hate them. This one, I just touch my waterline with it and they're real bendy. I think they're just as flexible as the tip of the rest of the wand. It was not painful, and it didn't cause sort of a knee-jerk reaction. It definitely looks better on my good eye. They're long though. They are long, that is for sure. Alright friends, we forgot blush, so let's go ahead and throw a blush on. This is the E.L.F. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Cheeky. This is not new. This is just what I grabbed. I did not grab a new blush. I'm just going to take that and throw some on. Sort of take down this sort of alien highlight situation. I can definitely say that these blushes are real good. These are very good. I quite like these blushes. I think I'm going to pick up a few more colors. On to lippies. My camera's going to die, so hopefully we can get through this quickly before I head to wear test where I can charge it. So real quick, I'm going to go in with also not a new product. This is the Colourpop Liner in Curve 2. If you haven't tried the Colourpop liners, I urge you to do so. They're pretty darn good. And then I thought this would go nicely with the color story of our eye look. It is the new Color Stay Satin Ink from Revlon in the shade 007 Partner in Crime. So it just sort of looks sort of like a muted mauve-y kind of purpley kind of pinky situation. So it also has sort of that curved doe foot going on like the Revlon concealer. Okay. Goes on creamy. The camera died and cut me off. How rude. However, I want to say that Revlon has lied to me. Do those look the same to you? They don't look the same to me. So I put this on, and then I had to go find my charger pack because my camera can actually charge while I'm filming. Meanwhile, this has started to dry down, and it is pink, like full-on pink, with a hint of mauve, or mauve, or however you want to say it. Don't come for me. It's a little sticky too. We'll see how it wears. Let's lock it all down, why don't we? Picked up the Milani Make It Last Matte. I'm not entirely sure if there's like different lines in this. They all kind of looked the same, so I just grabbed one. This is the Matte Charcoal Setting Spray. Anyway, let's see what this mister's like. Has a little bit of a fragrance. Let's give it a try. Oh. Okay. Do you see how wet I am? Oh my god. Okay. This is like a 2 spritz situation. I went in way, it seems to be a fine mister, but not super fine. It's not aggressive. It doesn't spit at you. I don't see any like giant globs, but it puts out a lot of product out at once. I probably held it way too close to my face. Well, that was like super soaker moment. It is drying quickly, but so yeah, instantly around my mouth. It looks immediately drier. I didn't check the ingredients of this, and I bet you ingredient number 2, alcohol denatured. All right, listen guys, we've already found multiple ways to make setting sprays that are excellent without denatured alcohol in them. Can we please continue that trend? So that I can guarantee you is why immediately around my mouth looks dry. Denatured alcohol on my 40-year-old skin, it dries it out so quick. It doesn't look bad anywhere else, but right here it looks pretty porous. Anyway, we're gonna start the wear test now, and I will see you guys later tonight. Hello, we are back. So it has been about 11 hours. It's just before 1 in the morning, and I am tired, so I want to wash my face and go to bed. Let's see how we are looking. So I noticed after I had already stopped filming and gone upstairs that I had forgotten to put lower lash mascara on, so I went ahead and did that. I also didn't end up putting eyeshadow underneath my eyes. I did that on purpose. I realized that afterwards that I said, you know what, I'm gonna leave it alone because we powdered one side and didn't powder the other, and I want to see how it wears. So I don't have any eyeshadow underneath my eyes, but I did go ahead and put the lower lash mascara on real quick to see if it would smudge or flake or whatnot, and it applied really easily to my lower lashes. Other than that, we will see how we are looking here. It's definitely pretty textured around my mouth, and I'm not sure if that's this powder with this foundation or if I should just not powder, because my face doesn't feel tacky. It never felt tacky after I set it down, even though it's a radiant foundation. I was actually really concerned about that, but it did set down really nice. I am glowy, but not in like a bad way. When I touch my skin, I don't feel greasy or slimy or anything like that. So I think this foundation wore absolutely beautifully. I'm actually really impressed with it. It's not gathered into my lines, so it has broken down and maybe clumped together a bit around the folds of my nose. But yeah, it mostly just looks a little weird around my mouth. The rest of it has worn really well. I still see my bronzer and my blush. I still see my pretty glowy highlighter. So those both lasted quite well. The eyeshadow is a bit of a different story on camera. I think you can still see the color. The mattes still look great wherever I put the mattes, but the shimmer is pretty much gone. I have sort of bald patch right here. I can see a little bit more on this side, but I still have a bald patch right here. So the shimmers did not last. So I'm not sure if that's because I used a concealer as an eye primer, which I almost never do. I will try that palette again with an actual eye primer, but again, the mattes were absolutely stunning. I really enjoyed the mattes. Let's talk about this concealer. Sorry, it's late and I'm losing my voice. I actually think it looks better on the side that I didn't set. It isn't separated, it's not creased, it doesn't look weird. But the side that I set with the E.L.F. Halo Glow powder is looking a little bit older. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but right here my lines are more pronounced. It's a little more crepey, and the side that I didn't set, it's like my own skin. Really, really like that concealer. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The mascara held up really, really well. It did drop my curl though. Most mascaras do though, for me, because I have such fine, fine lashes, but it didn't flake. I flaked a little. I can see some flakes right here actually. It did flake a little, but it didn't smudge. Even on the unset concealer side, there's no smudging. All right, let's talk about this lippy. All right, Revlon Color Stay Satin Ink. First of all, this lipstick, I don't know if you can see it now. It did not gracefully age. I ate dinner and had my water bottle, drank water through my water bottle. It transferred and it has left my lips in this really unattractive line. But the other thing that I'm upset about, so I mean, it wasn't my favorite while wearing it either. It wasn't uncomfortable, it wasn't drying, but it was a little bit sticky in a very strange way. Like, it just wasn't, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this. However, the color, you saw almost immediately when I put it on, as it started to dry down, the color changed, and it was not this sort of beautiful muted nude color I was expecting as per the package, but it even got pinker. It is like magenta almost. Like, it really got very, very pink. Even upstairs in my other makeup room with my bigger lights, I was just like, wow, this is pink. This is not anything like the color in the tube. So beware of that. As for the staying power, as you can see, like in this outer area of my lips, like it is on there. I'm not getting any transfer now rubbing that area of my lips, but where my dinner hit and from my water bottle, it did not age gracefully. It did not wear away gracefully. It's just a very strange line. The E.L.F. blush I already know that I love. The Hard Candy Primer, I think, probably contributed to how well this foundation wore. The bronzer too. So the bronzer has faded quite a bit, but I can still see it. And it actually settled into a very lovely color. But as I turn my cheek in certain lights, like the glow comes way, way down. So it is pretty shimmery. But overall, I'm actually really, really pleased with the products that I picked up from the drugstore. The brow product has stayed in place, and be aware of that brush though, it is very, very intense. The liner in the waterline, I did not check. So it never transferred again. After that initial transfer to the lower waterline, it didn't transfer again. After I put my lower lash mascara on, I did go ahead and line my lower waterline with a white cream gel liner from Colourpop. So I like the liner too. It was creamy, it was easy to apply, it was easy to smudge out as long as I did it quickly enough. Yeah, the setting spray, I am not a big fan of setting sprays with denatured alcohol in them. Like, I'm just too old for that now. Like, it just dries the crap out of my skin. I would almost, if I went a little too dewy one day, it's almost like something I would use to like recover from the dewiness. But I do not recommend using a setting spray that has denatured alcohol in it on an everyday basis, because it will have a negative effect on your skin. So the highlighter actually, I mean, it definitely accentuates texture. The powders feel very dry, but I got compliments today on my highlighter, strangely enough. So even though, I mean, if you're careful with it, it could look really, really pretty. And I'm excited to try that darker one as a bit of a blush topper. And the brush wasn't terrible. It's not a great brush, but it certainly beats some of the brushes that you usually get in palettes. Not bad. I think that's it. So thank you so much for joining me today in this drugstore haul and try on, and I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and leave in the comments down below any other products you want me to try out and pick up, and I will do that. Other than that, I want to hear what your favorite drugstore products are right now, so go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I've got some linked up in the cards. You can go ahead and click on those and watch them next, and at the end of the video, YouTube will so kindly suggest another video of mine to watch. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really, really love to have you as part of the family, and hit the like button if you like this video. That's it for me. I'm gonna go wash my face and go to bed because I'm tired and it's late. Be safe, everybody. Stay healthy and wash your damn hands. Bye.